From the very beginning, before you were even aware of yourself, I saw you and called you my own. Do not think that I came to you because you had reached perfection, and do not imagine that I remained because you had made yourself worthy. I loved you before you knew how to love, chose you before you knew how to seek, and placed my mark within you while you were still hidden in the deepest place. When I created you, I did not see you as a stray speck of dust in the vast universe, but as a creation bearing my image. As I once spoke, let us make mankind in our image, according to our likeness. The heavens and the earth were formed by my word. The seas obeyed the boundaries I set. The mountains stood firm by my power. But with you, I did something far more profound. I breathed the breath of life into you, just as I gave life to Adam, causing you to become a living soul. Therefore, the place where I desire to dwell is not in the magnificent works of human hands, but in a heart that still trembles before my presence, in a soul that remains open to receive grace. There have been times when you search for me in the sound of songs, in the glow of altar candles, in teachings filled with wisdom, and all these things can indeed draw you closer to me. But my child, I am not confined by space or time, nor am I so far away that you must search for me in weariness. I am nearer to you than the very breath you are taking, gentler than a mother's lullaby, more steadfast than the beating of your heart in lonely nights. I have reminded you, you are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwells in you. Therefore, when you are silent, when you call upon me through tears, when you have only enough strength left to whisper a faint plea, I am already there, never delayed, never standing outside like a stranger, but as a father who has always been waiting for you to return. You once thought that the emptiness within your heart had to be filled with success, recognition, and human affection. But my beloved, there are empty places I allowed to remain, not to wound you, but so that you would realize that only I can fill your soul. The joy of the world passes quickly like grass in the field. Human glory fades like a distant echo, and earthly love, however beautiful, cannot reach the deepest place within you. When I dwell in you, you will no longer have to run in search of peace among temporary things. For I have said, my peace I give to you. That peace is not fragile like the peace of the world, but firm like light in the darkness, like cool water in a barren desert. But my child, when I enter your heart, I do not merely remain in the place you have prepared for me. I will open doors you once locked, touch memories you once hid away, and remove the layers of fear and doubt that have covered you. Do not be afraid when I begin to change everything. I do not come to destroy, but to heal. I will take away what has weighed you down, tear down the walls that separate you from love, and bring light into the dark corners you once avoided. For I am the light, and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I do not break you apart, but lift you up with mercy, renew you with grace, and clothe you with the beauty that comes from my holiness. Remember the story of the house of Obed-Edom, where my Ark of the Covenant was brought, and in only a short time, his entire household was richly blessed. People saw only a sacred object placed inside an ordinary home, but I saw a place that honored my presence. So it is with you. When you allow me to remain in your heart, it is not only one part of you that will be renewed, but your whole life will bear the mark of blessing. Your words will become gentler, your eyes will be filled with compassion, and your steps will grow steady. You do not need to strive to prove that you belong to me, for just as the branch only needs to abide in the vine to bear fruit, I have said, abide in me, and I will abide in you. And then, What I do within you will begin to spread around you, like a lamp that does not shine only for itself but lights the whole room. You will become a source of comfort to weary souls. I will use the wounds you have endured to help you understand and lift up others. I will turn the barren places within you into evidence that life can spring forth where everything seemed dead, like Zacchaeus long ago, who climbed a tree simply because he longed to see me. And when I entered his house, his life was changed. I am entering your heart in the same way, not to condemn, but to bring salvation. Therefore, my beloved, keep your heart like a sacred garden. Do not allow seeds of negativity to take root. Do not let fear or bitterness occupy the place where I have prepared peace. But do not think that you must do this by yourself. Let me stand at the door of your heart. Pray when you are weak. Give thanks when you forget grace. And return to stillness when your heart is troubled. I am the one who commands storms to be still, and I will guard your heart if you allow me to be Lord. Then you will see the things you thought were dead within you come back to life. Buried dreams will bloom. Sorrowful memories will be healed. I will pass through every small corner of your soul and overlook nothing. I will not merely make you more beautiful in the eyes of the world, but make you a place that reflects my glory. And when you allow me to remain, you will understand that the most precious thing is not that you found me, but that I chose you as my dwelling place. Be at peace, my child, for I am with you always, and in a heart open to me, I will build a place filled with light, peace, and love that never fades. Before you could even speak, I was already there, quietly seeing every heavy breath you took, every thought you hid in the night. I do not wait for you to become perfect before calling you near. I do not wait for you to become strong before opening my arms to receive you. What I desire from you is not a life without scars, but a heart willing to open, willing to believe that grace is still sufficient. You thought you had to stand firm before you could walk, had to be free from fear before you could move forward, had to understand everything before you could be entrusted. But I have said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Therefore, do not be ashamed when you are weary. Do not hide the empty places in your heart, and do not blame yourself for the days when all you can do is sigh. It is precisely in the place you thought was the end that I lay the foundation for a new beginning. It is precisely when you let go of what you once held tightly that I can place in your hands what belongs to faith. There are things that once held you like a shelter, but have now silently become chains. There are memories that once helped you survive a season of storms, but are no longer permitted to rule over you in the season of dawn. I know you have lingered beside familiar things, not because they were good, but because they made you less afraid. Yet, my child, a prison may become familiar in scent, but that does not make it home. Darkness may seem gentle to the eyes, but that does not make it the place where you belong. I call you out of that narrow place, just as I once called Lazarus out of the tomb. Lazarus, come out. John 11:43. And when that dead man came forth, grave clothes were still wrapped around him. Yet my voice was stronger than every scent of death. In the same way, when I call you, you do not need to wait until you have removed every layer of bondage by yourself. You only need to respond to my voice, and I will send hands of grace to help set you free. I heard you speaking in the night. You said you had no strength left. I was there. You said you had tried for too long. I saw every tear fall unseen. You said you were afraid you would fail once again. I placed my hand upon that fear. But I also saw something deeper than the words you spoke. Within your heart, there is still a small light, fragile yet persist. You thought it was about to go out, but no, for that flame was not kindled by human will. But by my breath, a bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not quench. Isaiah 42:3. Do you see? I do not come to crush the weak part that remains within you. I come to shelter it, nourish it, and cause it to rise into a guiding light. But understand this, my beloved, the light does not come only to comfort you. It also comes to call you out. I did not awaken your soul so that you would remain forever at the threshold of healing. I lift you up so that you may become a living testimony that my mercy is still at work in the world. For this reason, do not use your smallness as a reason to step back. A small lamp in a dark room is still enough to help the lost recognize the way. I have said, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. You were not lit to hide yourself in shame, nor were you restored so that you would bury grace in silence. You were saved in order to live, healed in order to love, and strengthened in order to strengthen those who are still trembling in the night. The passage of the soul from one season to another is not always gentle. When I lead you from the old into the new, some broken pieces will fall away. When I make you more spacious within, old coverings must crack open. A seed cannot become a sprout if it forever keeps its closed form beneath the earth. Bread cannot nourish others if the grain refuses to be crushed. Do not fear these holy pains. Not every pain is punishment. Some pains are signs of birth. Some cracking sounds are the sounds of freedom. Some losses are doorways through which your soul enters the wide space I have prepared. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. That new thing does not always appear with the sound of trumpets. Sometimes it begins with a single tear offered in trust. Do you remember the story of Elijah in the cave? He had once stood strong before the false prophets and had seen fire fall from heaven. Yet afterward he fled in exhaustion and asked to die beneath the broom tree. I did not rebuke him with thunder. I sent an angel to bring him bread and water so that he could eat, sleep, and then eat again. Later, when he stood on Mount Horeb, I was not in the mighty wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but came to him in a still small voice. 1 Kings 19:12. My child, there are times when I do not raise you up through forceful urging, but through enduring tenderness. I do not despise your exhaustion. I know your body needs rest, your mind needs stillness, and your soul needs to hear again that you still belong to me. And after Elijah thought his story had ended, I entrusted him with a new mission. So it is with you. What you call the final chapter may be the first page I am opening. Therefore, when my light shines into the hidden corners within you, do not shrink back in shame. I do not illuminate in order to humiliate you, but to loosen what has been silently hurting you. You have grown used to hiding many wounds, so much so that you thought covering them was the same as healing them. But no, a wound that is well hidden can still fester in silence. Let me touch the place you have avoided. Let me name the fears you have not dared to admit. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. My truth is not a blade of condemnation, but fragrant oil poured upon a fractured soul. I do not come to tell you that you are not good enough. I come to declare that you no longer need to remain enslaved to what grace has already defeated. Be watchful, for whenever a soul draws near to the light, darkness will try to speak one last time. It will remind you of the times you stumbled, magnify your mistakes, darken your memories, and whisper that you will never change. But do not receive that voice as truth. The past may tell a story about you, but it has no right to write the final chapter. Sin may leave a scar, but the cross has left a covenant. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. You do not need to carry yesterday's mourning clothes into the morning I give you today. Let the dawn bury the old lies. Clothe yourself with mercy like a mantle. Walk in grace as one who has been called by name through love. Then there will come a time when you look up and realize that the night never won. It was long, but it was not eternal. It covered much, but it could not swallow the promise. The sunrise does not need permission from the darkness, and the plan I have for you does not need the agreement of your fear. The word I have spoken will not return empty, but will accomplish what I desire and fulfill the purpose for which I sent it. Isaiah 55:11. Therefore, even if you have not yet seen the full result, continue breathing with gratitude. Even while you are still in the middle of the journey, keep telling your soul you no longer belong to the night. Let your lips stop sowing words of self-condemnation and begin sowing words of life. Say, I am loved. I am chosen. I am being renewed. I do not walk alone. You do not need to seek recognition from places that cannot heal you. You do not need to prove your worth before eyes that do not understand your journey. Before you accomplished anything, I loved you. Before you stood firm, I called you mine. Before you knew how to pray properly, I understood your wordless sobs. You are not an abandoned draft, but a work I am patiently bringing to completion. We are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, Ephesians 2:10. The blurred ink stains in your life do not make me stop writing. The torn pages do not make me throw the book away. I am the one who can turn ashes into beauty, mourning into dancing, and a soul that once bowed its head into a lamp set on high. Today, allow me to rewrite you with my dawn. Do not merely ask for a new day on the outside, receive a new day within. Do not only hope for your circumstances to change, allow your heart to be recreated. When you look at yourself, stop asking, am I enough? Instead, say to me, Father, you are enough for me. For that is the beginning of true freedom, not when you are no longer weak, but when you are no longer afraid to bring that weakness to me, not when you have every answer firmly in hand, but when you place your hand in mine amid what you do not yet know. Then you will walk not in pride, but in peace, not by your own strength, but by my power that upholds you. True dawn is not merely light in the sky, my beloved, but the moment your soul realizes, I am still here. I still love you, and I am still making all things new. My beloved child, quiet your heart and hear my words in the deepest hidden place of your soul, where I am present. That place is no longer exile, no longer wilderness, but becomes a home of peace. And today, I am not seeking a palace of stone, nor choosing a temple built by human hands, nor dwelling in the places you think must be magnificent in order to be worthy. I choose you, your weary heart, your trembling soul, your life that still bears the marks of broken days. Do not ask yourself why I would choose a place still filled with wounds. For my love does not seek perfection as a dwelling place, but makes holy whatever it touches. Scripture says, do you not know that you are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? Therefore, my child, do not despise yourself anymore. Do not look at the cracks in your soul and think, I am far from you. Some cracks are where the light enters. Some sorrows are doorways through which my grace descends. I am in you, not as a guest who visits and then leaves, but as the one who has established a covenant, sealed you with love, and called you my dwelling place in a world still full of coldness. And because I am in you, you no longer have to live like one abandoned in the battle of your own life. When you walk through long days that no one understands, I still walk beside you in silence. When your prayer is caught in your throat, I still hear the sigh that has not yet become a sentence. When you no longer have enough strength to call my name, I still call your name with the tenderness of the shepherd who seeks the lost sheep. You thought there were nights when you cried alone, but no. Not one of your tears fell to the ground forgotten. The psalm has cried out, "You have counted my wanderings, put my tears into your bottle." Do you see? Your sorrow is not treated lightly by heaven. Every tear you silently swallowed has been held by me as testimony of a soul longing to be healed. Even your smallest smile after dark days is not insignificant before me. For each time you choose hope instead of despair, heaven hears a new song. You are not merely living for yourself. Within you, you carry a sign that I still love humanity, that I still place light into dust-born lives, and that I still cause love to rise in places that seem to hold only ruins. But, my little one, I do not only want to be near you like shade by the roadside, I also want to renew you from within by my very own breath. In the beginning, when the earth was still silent, and the form of man was only fine dust in the hands of the Creator, I breathed life into Adam, and man became a living soul. Today, I am doing a quiet work like that within you as well. I am not merely repairing what has been broken, but giving you another source of life. A stream of living breath that does not come from your fragile will, does not depend on your changing emotions, but flows from my spirit. There are days when you think you are only breathing in order to survive. But my child, when you open your heart to me, every breath can become a quiet act of worship. When you wake and still feel heavy, remember that I can place a new wind into those weary lungs. When you pray, even with only a few clumsy words, my spirit still helps your weakness. For the word is said, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what we should pray for as we ought. Therefore, do not fear imperfect prayers. I do not need polished words. I listen to the heart that is turning toward me. Perhaps you have carried a hidden fear within you that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not bright enough to continue the journey. You look at the chapters behind you and see too many times you have stumbled. You look toward the future and fear you do not have enough courage to take another step. But I tell you, true strength is not found in never being weak, but in knowing how to lean on me in the midst of that very weakness. I told Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." Let that word sink into the places where you have felt ashamed, where you have hidden, where you have blamed yourself. I do not despise the tired part of you. I do not turn my face away from the days when you tremble. I place my hand upon your heart to bring back to life the things you thought were dead, a dream buried beneath disappointment, a faith covered with dust by wounds, a tenderness that life once hardened. My new life does not always come like thunder across the sky. Often it comes like a quiet dawn, like morning dew upon dry grass, like a small but enduring peace rising within you after a long night. Remember the story of Elijah, the prophet who once stood boldly before kings and false prophets, yet at one point sat beneath the broom tree, so exhausted that he asked to die. I did not scold him with harsh words. I sent an angel to bring him bread and water, so that he could eat, drink, rest, and then continue the journey. Later, when he stood on Mount Horeb, I did not reveal myself in the great wind that tore the mountains, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in a still small voice. Do you see? I understand the limits of those I love. Sometimes what you need first is not a great command, but to be nourished by me, to rest in mercy, to hear my gentle voice saying that you still belong to me. Like Elijah, you may think you have been completely spent, but I still have a road ahead for you. I do not awaken you through harsh pressure. I revive you with the bread of grace, the water of hope, and the whisper that calms a storm-tossed soul. Therefore, from today on, live as one who knows you are not empty. Do not allow the world to define you by what you lack, what you have lost, or the times you failed to stand firm. You are defined by the one who dwells within you. If I am the light in you, darkness cannot be your final name. If I am the life in you, weariness cannot be your eternal destiny. If I am your father, loneliness is no longer your homeland. Walk with gentleness, for the one who carries me within does not need to be loud in order to prove they are loved. Speak with mercy, for lips touched by the Spirit can become a healing spring for the thirsty. Forgive when you can. Lift others up when you have the chance. And keep your heart pure amid crooked things. For through your ordinary life, others may catch a glimpse of me. As the Lord Jesus said, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." You do not need to strive to become a blazing torch that overwhelms others. Only burn faithfully with the flame I have placed in you, and the darkness around you will know that I am still present. Finally, my beloved, when the days ahead become difficult to understand, return to this truth: I have not left you. I do not merely stand outside your life and observe. I dwell within you to raise you up from the inside. I am your breath when you are exhausted, the heartbeat when your heart seems to have grown cold, the living water when your soul is dry, the home when you do not know where to lean. Each morning, quietly tell your heart, "I am here, the Father is with me." Each night, when you close your eyes, entrust to me the worries that remain unresolved. For the one who watches over you does not sleep. Then you will see, little by little, your life being sanctified not by your own perfection, but by my steadfast presence. And as you live in that presence, you will become a living testimony that love can still dwell in the human heart, that grace can still renew what seemed withered, and that in this broken world, I am still building homes out of hearts that know how to open their doors to me.